So there's an app out there called the Ultimate Utility for Infinite Warfare. It's created by a fellow YouTuber named Brass Monkey. I had heard of him before from clear back in Call of Duty Ghosts. If I remember correctly, he was featured in some of Drifter's videos. Upon looking at his channel, he does these guide apps for other games too, such as Battlefield and Overwatch. So what is the app exactly? According to the description, the Ultimate Utility is an app for both iPhone and Android that's designed to help you improve at Infinite Warfare. The app has all of the most in-depth weapon stats and map strategies, plus tools to help you find other good players to party up with. So after reading this, it sounds right up my alley. I'm always searching for weapon stats, and in fact, I definitely plan on doing a few weapon reviews for certain weapons in Infinite Warfare. So apparently, Brass Monkey opens up the computer code of the game to look at exactly how each weapon performs. Obviously, this is information that you can't actually see just by playing the game. You all should know by now that the in-game weapon stats are complete wank on the cob. So let's take a look at a few of the features available in this app. The main screen is pretty standard. It's not too cluttered and you can navigate it easily enough. The colors are pretty decent and it's not treacherous to your eyes. The first thing to browse is perhaps the biggest reason to get the app in the first place, the weapon stats. He's got complex data and graphs on all the primary and secondary weapons, as well as their variants. When you click into a certain weapon, you can see a variety of information, including most of the things that YouTubers will name off when doing their own reviews. Now, I'm a big fan of visual learning, so I enjoy that there's plenty of pictures and graphs. One of my favorite aspects is the kill shot section. You can slide the range up and down and see how many shots it'll take to kill in both core and hardcore. Another extremely useful section is the variant one. You can see all known variants for each weapon, including their hidden stats, such as on the NV4 Flatline. You can see here that it says there's a slower fire rate of 571. It's these types of hidden stats that make this app extremely useful. There's also a video section that'll take you to the quote, popular Call of Duty YouTubers videos. And you can tell this isn't a sponsored video by any means, as you won't find any of my own videos in there. Another nice feature is for the map overheads. Going into this section, you can see a bird's eye view of all the maps. There's even a feature to draw your own routes on them. So let's be honest here. When do most people look at the apps on their phone? When they're on the toilet. Instead of contemplating the meaning of life while you're on your royal throne, why not plan flanking routes in domination? Or study the bomb sites in Search and Destroy? Studying and perfecting routes using the map overheads is a great way to improve your game. I personally enjoy the attachment section. Not many YouTubers out there discuss attachments in depth. For example, most people know that the FMJ attachment will reduce the amount of bullet damage lost by passing through an object. But do most people know just by how much? In this case, it's 50%, as you can see here via the tips section. Now, if you go into the social tab, there's even a live chat where you can converse with fellow players. The best part about this chat is that it's cross-platform, meaning that Android and iPhone users can see each other's messages. You can also use the direct message feature if you'd rather talk privately. There's also a Let's Play section where you can put requests out to party up with other players. So if you're a solo player and you're in need of a few friends, you can make good use of this. One of my absolute favorite features of the app is found under the Tools section. Here you can select two weapons and compare all their stats. It automatically puts a check mark next to the winner of each category, making finding what you need quick and easy. Furthermore, there's a Gun Finder section where you can search for specific criteria for each weapon category. For example, you can search for which gun has the highest damage per second in the SMG weapon class. Now, unfortunately, no app is perfect. The biggest drawback to this app is that it's more suited for the iPhone users. As an Android user myself, I feel like a lot of apps give Android the shaft. Several of the best features are currently missing in the Android version, including the Gun Finder tool. I actually sent Brass Monkey a message in regard to this. He got back to me and said that the app was specifically developed for the iPhone. He said that he had to hire another developer to copy over his work onto Android, but that it never turns out quite as good. He also told me something I wasn't aware of, that apps on Android as a platform will never look as good as on the iPhone, simply because of the nature of the operating system. He did assure me, however, that he's trying to get everything optimized for the Android version. Now, the biggest question people will likely ask is how much. So there's two versions of the Ultimate Utility app, a free version and a paid version. The free version only contains the social features, such as the messaging system, the Let's Play feature, and the player card and achievement tracking. The paid version has all these free features plus the strategy info, including everything I've covered in this video. The price for this version is $4.99. So is this app worth it? $5 is definitely a steep price for an app, but it's not often you can find an actual useful Call of Duty app out there. For the stat junkies, there's tons of graphs and charts. There's also detailed information on all the weapon variants, so that you can get a better idea of what to spend your salvage on. I myself collect the actual official strategy guides that are released with each Call of Duty game, but these cost more than 4 times as much as this app, and after the first big patch, they become pretty much outdated anyway. Brass Monkey seems to be on top of things when it comes to updating the information from the latest patches and DLC. One argument I could see is that many YouTubers do weapon reviews already, which is obviously free. But how long do you have to wait for the weapon you want? I know how difficult it is to produce a quality video. Weapon reviews take a lot of time, which means you may not get to see the one you want for quite a while. Not to mention that even YouTube videos get outdated with all the buffs and nerfs this game receives. At the end of the day, it comes down to how much information you want at your fingertips. If you could care less about weapon stats, this app clearly isn't for you. If you're like me and you love to find out all the hidden stats each weapon variant offers, I'd highly recommend it. I think a lot of people will be turned off by that $5 price tag, and if you made it this far in the video, you should definitely be rewarded. So I sent Brass Monkey a message and asked him if that was a permanent price. The last thing I wanted is to say this would be $5 and then him drop the price later on. And to my surprise, he said that since my subscribers should get a lot of use out of the app, he'd be willing to lower the price to $2.99 for the first 12 hours following this video. So anyone who wants to buy it immediately can get a discount. And for the record, I paid full price for the app. And I'm not sponsored or partnered with him in any way. It may sound like an infomercial type plug on my behalf, but I'm not being rewarded in any way from you downloading the app. Lastly, I know a lot of you have been wanting me to host some community games. I'm actually in the process of seeing if my internet can handle me streaming, in which case I'll be glad to play with my subs as often as I can. In the meantime though, if anyone does download the app, I was going to possibly attempt a community game. As I mentioned earlier, the app has a section for exactly this, and it would make it easy for me to get a list of gamer tags and then send everyone a notification of when to play. And remember, this is in the free version as well. So if you're interested in this ultimate utility app for Infinite Warfare, you can find links in the description to the appropriate app stores to download them. If you do decide to check out the app, be sure to leave Brass Monkey a review that says Tabor Hill sent you. So whether you just want an app that contains all the weapon stats in one place, or you just get bored and need something to do while you're on the pooper, I'm sure almost every Call of Duty fan can find a use for this app.